Yeah, absolutely excited to have Ruston Kelly on the podcast, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. How have things been?
Things have been great. They're moving along pretty fast,
Hmm.
in a great way. There's been a lot of moving parts on this album, like starting to roll it out and stuff, and it's not even released yet,
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy to think that we haven't even gotten to the starting line yet. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like you've already gotten to the starting line, right? By like releasing singles off of it, you're like, you're down the track, so to speak. But I guess kind of like the easiest way to start, and maybe the easiest introduction for everybody listening to you is let's just start with music that or songs or whatever that you kind of grew up on that maybe your parents listening to, you were listening to. What kind of got you into music?
Mm, that's a great. I love this question because it always it taps me back into the big why.
Mm,
Of like the point of doing it. My dad was is a diehard Jackson Browne fan.
uh,
So Jackson Browne was like kind of the soundtrack to my entire childhood. And then when I started playing guitar, it was still there. So we had Jackson Browne, um, Cream, Jimi Hendrix, B.W. Stevenson, Willis Allen Ramsey, a lot of like some Texas folk country, be considered alt country now. My mom and dad are from Texas, so yeah, there's a lot of that in there. What really got me into like music though was when I saw Dave Matthews Band
mm.
for the first time. That was I didn't really know much of their music, but I went to the show and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Not even
Yeah,
the style, but it was like just the energy of it, like the chemistry of the band, like they seemed like they were having so much fun, and it just was like loud and big, and I don't know, it made me feel like I was levitating.
yeah. So it's as maybe embarrassingly so. I'm not a huge listener of Dave Matthews Band. What give me a rundown of like four or five songs as a extraordinaire, as a super fan of that I should listen to get the feel.
Okay, so I have this conversation with my friends all the time because they aren't Dave Matthews fans, but I honestly think the live versions of all of their songs are the best versions. I
Huh.
would listen to as someone interested in like what they are as a band, not necessarily like their you know, big hits.
Mhm.
I would go Live at Red Rocks is just a great album in general. It's like one of their first live albums. But I would go The Stone live listener supported. And I would also do number 41
Okay.
from listener supported. And then I would go Ants Marching from Central Park, live at
Okay.
Central Park.
So
So
that's
The Stone, number 41, and Ants Marching would be great. Great place to
perfect.
start.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about it, but I feel like it's from what I've heard, maybe growing up and maybe still now. Like it's a very like polarizing band, no? Or like I feel like
Yes.
people either love it or hate it. Is
Well,
that
dude,
true?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with their fan base.
Okay.
Like when I started going to listen to them, it was very like frat party
Okay.
music. Which is funny to think about that now because you don't really think of like jazz fusion with like major pop sensibilities as being like frat party music
Right.
now.
Not at all. Yeah.
And he had a bit of that like mid 90s, late 90s kind of a slight like his vocal inflection was really what I think drew a lot of people away in my friend group because they were like they could easily make fun of it, and
Mm,
like kind of go there,
sure.
but
Yeah.
he's a phenomenal lyricist. He's also playing like polyrhythms on acoustic guitar. And like somehow these were like number one songs.
Yeah. Interesting. I yeah, I'm definitely not as well versed maybe as I should be. Maybe I'll definitely have to take a listen. And the live album stuff with any band is always kind of throwing me off because like you get into like people it's like the live albums versus the studio albums and it's like two different sounds, and it's a hard pickup at times. Um, so you're working on a new album, kind of like we talked about earlier. New singles out. In terms of the new album itself, right? Coming out in I think like a month, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
what's the overarching kind of theme, vibe? How are we feeling about it? Um, yeah, just kind of give us the 411, so to speak.
I'm feeling really good about it. This album came about after like a good amount of writer's block, but not just like writer's block, it was creative block. Like
Uh,
creativity seemed to the faucet seemed to be off.
okay.
And as someone that had previously rooted almost the entirety of like my value and self-worth in being able to create, I had a bit of like an existential crisis with it. Nothing that got too nuts or anything. Like
Yeah.
I didn't go return to any, substance issues or anything like that. But it was more just like this. I had such an uncertainty about an ability that was natural to me. And I realized then, because it was affecting everything in my life, just my contentment. It was
Mm,
affecting my contentment,
yeah.
even though I was aware I had so many reasons to be content. Um, and so I thought that I needed to understand that a little better. And through that process, I kind of I had a very strong spiritual experience that that came on the heels of that, which ignited my knowing that my value doesn't lie in what I do. My value lies in who I am and what I've been put on this earth to do, which is, it's not the outcome of expressing yourself. It's the sheer fact that I'm able to do it and be
Mm,
grateful for expressing myself that matters so much more. And it's easy to lose that when you're, even when you've made that your profession. Um, and then right after the spiritual experience and like a return to faith, I met my now girlfriend, and it was, it was one of those just like unlike anything I'd really, it reframed my understanding of what love is.
mm,
It wasn't this like blissful state of emotion, though that's part of it. It was this like knowing, and that like she's got me, I've got her. And so when I went to approach writing the record, I was like, wait, these are like new themes for me. I've typically dealt more with the darker side of the human condition,
yeah.
through a lens of hope, but still I felt more comfortable in the rain clouds, when it came to my creative
Yeah.
muscle and sitting down to write about these brand new topics that I used to think like, yeah, like happy songs are kind of boring to me. I was now the dude that was like attempting to write songs from a place of joy, and I didn't really know how at
Yeah.
first. And to me, what that said was, you know, that I needed to live and experience that deeper to have a richer palette to express those emotions.
Mm,
So I just like hung in that for a while. I told my label that like I had an album, and that's not like totally a lie. I needed the budget to be greenlit because I knew, like, I trusted in it. I was having this new sense of like faith and trust in what I can't fully see. And so I like sent them a bunch of demos and was like, yeah, like since recording was slated for October, and I was like, yeah, this'll do. And I had no songs written for it.
okay.
And so 2 weeks before pre-production was supposed to start, I was waiting for my girlfriend to get ready. We were just going to dinner, and I was like, I'm just gonna make up something to sing to her. And I grabbed the guitar off the wall, and then like a full ass song popped out, and I was like, oh shit, like the gates are open.
Yeah.
And I went back home, and I went on like a 2 week writing binge, and the whole album came out in that
Amazing.
period. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and it's about that. It's about, a return of faith, a refocusing of the lens, of the purpose, and it's predominantly about falling in love with this person, and not just like the sheen of that,
Yeah.
but a lot of like what it took to understand these things about myself and accept them.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going back to like what something you said earlier in it, like the idea that we could so quickly kind of put the value of ourselves into things that we create and not like just the sheer act that we do it in the first place. And I feel like it happens so fast, right? Like you have all these things pointing in the direction, like, have good things going on, but that one person or one idea creeps, it can wreck you. And, I think kind of as people, we don't get that opportunity sometimes to kind of sit in that feeling of contentment and being like, just the ability to do this is good enough. I guess kind of speaking to, maybe just some of the songs off it, right? So, the song they so far off the album that I think I've enjoyed the most is definitely Wayside. Just kind of how it flows and the, I don't know, just like the and nothing else matters kind of feeling to it. I really enjoy. If you could talk more, maybe just the story behind that one specifically.
Well, that one specifically kind of cracked the case on overarching themes on the
Yeah.
record. I mean, look, we live in unprecedented times. There's a lot of darkness in the world. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of awareness of other people suffering when you look out in the world, and with our inundation of information, and we consume a lot more information than we used to. It can make you feel like almost hopeless when like you look out and you see like you're like, I want to do something about that, but like I stay for, joining a committee and voting and doing the best that you can to try to change things. Like I looked inward and I took account of what I have to be joyful about. And I think cultures all over the world have something to say about being joyful in spite of the difficulties in the human experience. And
Mhm.
when you do take account of like, wow, like, okay, this all may feel hopeless. This all may feel like I can't do anything about it. But at the same time, like, I feel like evil wins only when you let it. Um, and not to let it enter in like your sacred place, like your command center of who you are. You have someone that loves you. Like you have a family that loves you. You have self-worth, like whatever it is,
Yeah.
to remind yourself of that value. I think like the solution in that equation is it reflects outward into wanting to make a change, but not doing it out of fear, out of, this may not mean anything. It all means something if you're loved.
Mm.
And that's kind of like what that song is talking about primarily.
Yeah. The inundation of information can get, I mean, on top of just being completely overwhelming at times, like you said, like this, especially with social media and the way, algorithms seem to work, like it becomes like a complete echo chamber of like, you sit in darkness, it just echoes darkness back to you. And, the hope is hard to see and it's hard to see past, um, like you said, everything going wrong in the world. And it can be, if you don't kind of actively, like you said, go after a little bit of light, the darkness will 100%, find ways to live within you and kind of change you. And it's a little scary. I think something, especially we all go through it nowadays, and especially if you're like chronically online, like it feels like
Yeah,
most people are, like
yeah,
it's bound to happen.
it is bound to happen. The inundation, I mean, what you engage with, like you are what you eat.
Huh.
We become we become what we are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We become what we engage with, what we spend time thinking about. And I mean, if you're constantly thinking about how much something sucks, like, well, then it's probably gonna do nothing but suck. You know?
100%. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Uh, so you've been making music in general for a long time now. Has your approach to making music changed over the years? I mean, obviously with this new album having like a new, thematic tone to it, obviously it probably changed a little bit, but is the way you kind of approach writing an album changed?
Yeah. This album was originally called A Return to Form. I didn't know that that was like a kind of buzzworthy, like, headline or byline that like journalists like to use when someone like fell off and then like came
Oh
back.
yeah,
But I was meaning it more like, a return to like a truest state. And I really meant that sonically at the time because the first two records that I made were, um, not that any record I've done hasn't been genuine, but it was just kind of like there weren't many stakes. Like there was like my first record, especially, no one like knew who I was. Like no one, I hadn't even sold a ticket yet. We just did it because we loved it. I made it with my friends,
yeah,
and the second record, the same, like my friends and family, and there was just such a belief in that before like the team started to grow a little bit and before like starting to sell tickets. And I am a goal driven person. I have things that like I want to do in my life, like bucket list career stuff, and I work really hard at that. And I think on my third record, I was like, okay, I want to be a team player. I want to kind of, it was the first record that was A&R'd, and I kind of wanted to see what it looked like to play the game a bit.
yeah,
And I'm proud of that record, but it reminded me that like I didn't get into making albums to play a game, you know.
hmm,
I got into making albums that meant something really vital and important and worth sharing for other people because it was important to me, and in turn that anyone that would buy a ticket, that we would commune about something important together.
yeah,
That I would just be the kind of arbiter of that experience that they had themselves. That's the only reason that I make music and perform. And so on this record, I was like, okay, we did the thing, we played the game a little bit, and it really didn't even make that big of a difference professionally. So I was like,
yeah,
what? Like, let's do it the way that we've always done it. So I went back to my producer that did the first two records, and he's also, one of my best friends in the world. And I used my live band. Like, usually you use
mm,
studio musicians,
yeah,
and I was like, well, I want that energy. Like, I want us to carry the concept of what we had out on the road called the invincible stage,
uh,
which was no matter what's going on, like backstage, no matter what's going on the bus, no matter what's going on back at home, like when we get on stage, nothing will stop us.
yeah,
The vibe. That's the energy that we're going to bring every single time. And you know, I was really excited to bring that energy and put it on record.
yeah,
And I really think it works. There's a big difference between a drummer that's like understands at the turnaround you do a certain kind of fill because like doing something else might be like too much. And John Chong, my drummer, I was like, dude, there's no charts for this. Like you're gonna go in there and you're gonna play this like we're playing it, at Bridgestone Arena. Like you're gonna
yeah.
go and say we played it at Red Rocks. Like that's what it's gonna be.
Did the like having obviously having a producer that you're really close with, do you think that kind of allowed you to be um I mean obviously not maybe having the A&R involved as well, a little more like you made an album you wanted to make and it feels, really good about it now. Like you feel like it's true to exactly how you wanted it to be.
Yes, from start to finish, the vision for the album, I heard the way it sounded. I knew I wanted to get back with Jared Kay. I mean, me and him have like we're basically at like telepathy level
Right.
in the studio. We don't really even have to say much. I know where he's gonna go with this thought, and we just like let it happen. It's very we he used to always tell me when I would get, sideways about this minute detail, he would be like, dude, just be water. That's all we are in this setting. Like, we're just going to be water. We're going to live. We're
Yeah.
going to do it. It's not that big of a deal. And because of that relationship, I was able to truly return back to my kind of purest form of expression. And
Yeah.
I got exactly what I wanted out of it.
Amazing. So,
Yeah.
you'd mentioned like at the very beginning here, the race is kind of underway, maybe so to speak. You just kind of started it, with the few singles out and the album approaching. What, I don't know. I guess kind of what. Obviously, you're looking forward to the album coming out, but on top of that, like what else are you looking forward to in terms of just the whole once it's out to everybody?
I'm excited for people to hear the entirety of this story. I'm lucky to have some really diehard fans that have been there from the beginning, that, they've seen me express, things from my lowest self. They've seen me reach for things even with an uncertain footing. They've seen me well, they've seen me unwell. This is this is the most content that I've ever been in my life, and I made a record in that state.
Yeah,
Uh, and honestly, man, everything else, like, I made a record with my friends and my family, and the fact that people are interested in listening to it, even one person buying a ticket, is so cool.
yeah,
I can pay my bills and I got a roof over my head, and I made a record with my favorite people in the world. Everything else is icing on the cake. Like,
yeah,
yeah, we're gonna hustle, and we want to sell more tickets and grow and headline Red Rocks. Like, but I want to do it with the people that I love and do it for the right reasons. And if that's a slower burn, then like, that's fine.
yeah,
I'm totally fine with that.
yeah. I mean, genuinely, it's like as just like human to human, like hearing that, like that's amazing for you that you're content that you made an album with people you love and like hell yeah, like couldn't
Yeah.
ask any more, right? Like hell yeah,
Yeah, like, what am I being? I don't want to be like existentially greedy.
right?
Uh, I'm industrious, and I have aspirations, but um, that's not the purpose of why I
Mm,
do it. The
yeah,
purpose has been achieved, so
yeah,
I'm so grateful for that. Like, we have it on record for the rest of my life. This statement of love, this testament to faith, to the solidarity and unionizing of like myself, my soul, and the people around me. I can't ask for anything more, you know?
yeah, yeah. I honestly couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
In terms of like apart from the album coming out and just being happy that it's there, there's obviously a little bit of promotion that comes along with it, and usually nowadays that feels social media based.
That's
What's
not,
your relationship with the great machine that is social media?
dude, the great machine. That's so good. I haven't heard anybody say that yet. That's what it is. It was a horrible relationship
Mm,
about 6 months ago.
yeah,
Like, I was getting to where I was like, I'm just gonna get a flip phone and like, so be it
yeah,
vibes. Um, but I also don't ever want to be left behind and to do it just because like I only know it to be this way. And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm trying to put food on my table, for the rest of my life. And like, this is part of the business now.
yeah,
So what I had to do was reframe the way that I viewed it and reframe how I engaged with social media. And I found that my biggest problem, and I think a lot of artists would agree with this, is we all open the apps, multiple times a day.
yep,
And most of the time it's just out of like boredom or like just checking on this or that. And I think that when there wasn't really a steady posting plan, I would open the app and have this like weird like guilt about not posting something promotional,
yeah,
not building my business. And I get into this weird like paralysis like zombie state where I felt the pressure to do it, but not the inspiration. I had no idea what I would do anyways. And so I just found myself scrolling nonstop and then wanting to throw my phone at the wall.
I
Now
feel that. Yeah.
I was like, yo, we're not doing that this time around. Like, I won't survive that way. So we got really detailed about a posting plan. We pre-recorded content, which I'd
Mm,
never done before. Even stuff where I'm at home, and just like sitting there and like, I'm going to record a few things and then I know that I'll post them, later this week or next week. And that really freed up so much like pressure to do it.
mhm.
And because I like engaging with people. I like posting stuff.
Yeah.
It's really everything else, algorithmically and feed wise, that when you scroll, I just think it's like, I just think it's bad for your brain. I
I
just
mean,
think it is, but like, so I think having regular scheduled posts, and I'll check in to engage with fans and check comments and DMs and stuff. And then I put it away. And
that
that seems to work for me.
yeah, I genuinely couldn't agree more with the even as someone like, myself, I'm just a curator, like getting on with feeling pressure to post without inspiration to post and then
Yeah, dude.
scrolling. Like I still go through that. Like it happens so often. Um but yeah, you're right. The structure matters. Like being like scheduling out even just time just to get on there and just reply to things like it it makes life 1,000 times easier and 1,000 times less stressful,
Yep.
um, which is definitely matters in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Um,
I had to bridge the gap between looking at like this. It's just like a personal app that like I'm interested in X, Y, and Z, and I'll
mm,
see that content and I'll engage with this or that, to like, this is a marketing tool for my business. And I know that sounds really obvious to a lot of people, but it just didn't click to
mm,
me. And once I saw it that way, I felt like I could remove myself. It's still hard to do that, because it is designed to keep us
very
on there.
well designed. Yes.
It's very well designed. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant human technology. But it can be so destructive in like these little ways that build up over time.
Mm.
And I just couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely respect the idea of just structuring it out and
Yeah.
having your time on it and then being off of it.
I was
A
given
lot.
the opportunity to just have like, management run it.
Mhm.
And that's actually a goal of mine at some point, to do the Ed Sheeran thing, where you kind of, just give them a caption or something, but like you have a flip phone. And, but I think at this stage in the game, as I'm building an audience, these are highly personal themes, and I
Mm.
feel like it's important to share part of myself and them to actually get to know me, not just through my music, but what, excites me, what makes me happy, what my particular brand is a lot to do with my personality. So I
Yeah,
wanted to make sure that that's still there.
yeah,
So I will definitely, even if it's scheduled and stuff, I schedule time to engage in that way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The personal connection matters on every level, especially nowadays. It feels like um, social media is like leaning that way. Like people really like kind of yearn for that, like some
Yeah.
form of relatability connection, past a screen. Um, so I guess the questions I always end up asking, kind of everybody on this is, give me like from your discography that you were maybe not your most popular one, but just you're super, super proud of.
I would say, I'm most proud of, there's a song on this record. Uh it's the last song on the record. It's called All In.
Mhm.
And it is a very strong statement of love towards someone else, but like an all inclusive way, like where it's like, I'm in this, and it's just me and piano. I'm proud of it because even though I've been in relationships and stuff and have experienced love, this seemed to be in a whole different category. And it was a category that I've wanted since I was a kid, honestly. I was a bit of a romantic, but always wanted to find that sense of equal partnership of like, I got you and you got me. And I was able to kind of testify that on record.
Yeah.
And sonically, I'm proud of it because Jared was like, this song is just you and a piano. And I was like, I mean, I know. And I know that means that we're going to have to do this in one take. It's going to have to be one of those things where the
Yeah.
mics are on. And I sat down at the piano and started it. And at the end, he got on the talk back and he was like, yeah, that was the take. So it was one take.
Yeah.
The only other time I've done that is on a song called Brave. And that usually means that it's special to us. It reflected exactly what we were trying to get across. So I'm really proud of that one.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear it, honestly. And then, so I don't know how much in terms of, I feel like this answer usually varies from artist to artist. Are you a chronic music listener? Or are you kind of like you make your music and that's kind of it, so to speak?
No, I'm a chronic music listener. I'm also a chronic, like when I find a song, like I'm playing that
Just
song.
playing it over and over again. So, in being a chronic music listener, give me a song or an artist that you've been really into recently.
I I weirdly like I was a bit of a 1975 hater,
Hmm.
you know? Like I was
Right.
like, what's just like it's like H&M dressing room music.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. He's like, whatever. And then I was invited to their show at Bridgestone in Nashville,
Yeah.
and I'm not kidding. It was like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so good, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like I am a huge fan now. And so like they have on their Being Funny in a Foreign Language record, the track Happiness, they did a version called Dance Floor Edit. And dude, I just like it just literally feels like heroin. Like I'm just like I can't stop listening to it.
Yeah.
I'm like bopping in my car to it. Um it's either that. I mean, Sufjan Stevens is always like Carrie and
Mm.
Lowell that's my favorite record of all time.
Yeah.
I listen to that, pretty much once a day. But I also listen to like my friends' music too.
Yeah.
Like Samia and Annie DeRusso. Both their new records are just like phenomenal. My homie Pretty Sister Zach Waters is starting to roll out music, and I just like I champion them, but like even if I didn't know them, I would absolutely just devour it. So that's
Yeah.
cool to have friends in your community that you just love what they do.
Yeah. I love that. I think that just helps build the community up over time too, right? Like friends supporting friends always goes well.
Yeah.
Um, So I guess, yeah, man, just kind of wrap it up. Like, obviously, you've got the album coming up. What else are we looking forward to? And what can everybody kind of expect going forward?
Okay. I'm looking forward to getting back on the road. It's
Mhm.
been over a year now, which is nuts for me. For like
Yeah.
5 years straight, I was just like on the road. I
Yeah.
wrote a lot of these records in the back of a bus. So this is like the first record since Dying Star that I like wrote in my writing office. So I'm excited to like bring these songs to life out. And my dad is going to be on the road playing steel. He played steel on all the records.
Mm.
That's always special. I'm going to
Yeah.
be with people, and I just can't wait to like to share these like viscerally with everyone. And other than that, I'm just like I'm excited I'm only on the road like a month this time, and then the tour kind of really starts next year. So
Yeah.
I'm like gonna have Halloween for the first time,
Right.
in a long time.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend loves Halloween. I love Halloween. I just got her into Harry Potter. She's reading the series and we're gonna watch the movies.
Love it.
Yeah, we're gonna just like get
Yeah.
all the floating candles. Like I'm leaning into fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be
Uh,
great. That's what
I
I'm looking
love
forward
it.
to. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, man, I appreciate you taking the time today. And yeah, I can't wait to hear the album.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Matt. This was great. This is a great combo.